Welcome to the Nomad Newsroom Podcast, the podcast for nomads, hosted by a British duo with an average sense of humor. It's Julian Nevin and Joe Wood.
I love podcasts. Can we start the show now?
Hey there, you are watching the Nomad Newsroom. My name is Julian Nevin and I am joined by Joe Wood, my co-host. Today we're going to be talking about nomadic life, the digital nomad lifestyle. This is the very first episode you are watching or listening to, and we honestly have no idea how this is going to go. And just for some context, we've only met each other twice.
This is the second time.
We've had a digital relationship for the last few weeks.
Yeah, mate, it's been intense. Some long, lonely nights there.
I bet.
Yeah.
On your phone at night. You're scrolling through my Instagram.
Yeah. Like, I love your video, bro. The quality's amazing.
Teach me.
Yeah.
So, as you can imagine, we actually met each other. Do you want to give a backstory?
Oh, mate. Oh, dude, it's the best way to meet someone, actually. We were at a place in Cape Panwa, which is really nice. You haven't been there. It's in Phuket. Really, really gorgeous little area. And we're in a hotel, Cantry Bay. Really nice hotel. And I'm just outside with my son and my wife, and we're just playing around, whatever. And loads of people coming into the restaurant. It's fine. Loads and loads of people. Boom. Julian rocks around the corner, and I knew he was English. I didn't even ask his name. I just asked him, where the hell are you from?
Yeah, literally, you did just say, where are you from?
Where are you from then? And then I knew straight away he was way, way too smart for a breakfast in 38-degree heat. Shirt tucked in,
long white trousers,
and like I said, the whitest shoes I've ever seen in my life in anyone in Thailand.
They're brand new, honestly. They were brand new.
They weren't brand new, man. He just polished them before he came down. And and then I knew straight away that he was from England. We got talking and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I actually thought he'd won a competition in Reader's Digest or something, just to be there, to be quite honest. He was a little bit too happy about the heat and all that. And then we just got talking.
Yeah.
It kind of like coincided with what we were doing. So I'm one half of the Digital Yesmads, which we can get into a little bit later. So we got talking about it. And there was just a lot of synergies there.
Well, as soon as you mentioned what you and Kiz are doing with Digital Yesmads, I was like, oh, well, I'm just launched CoWorkly.
Yeah.
The platform for digital nomads and remote teams. So we just had the synergy, we're living the lifestyle, and everything just made sense and it fit in. And myself and my co-founders at CoWorkly, we have been doing some CoWorkly podcasts, and this is still going to be hosted and featured on CoWorkly. It's still part of kind of the CoWorkly umbrella. But I approached Joe and was just like, hey, man, the conversations that we've had just through text alone and some voice notes, we've had good banter, good laugh. And I just thought that I want to get this off the ground. I want to do this. And I didn't know anyone better than
me. Yeah. Plus, he has no one else.
Yeah.
You've got no other friends. So I was the only person that he could call.
Well, you've been here for 6 years?
Yeah.
And you still haven't done one with anyone else, or you haven't found anyone else to tag along with?
Yeah. I think that's why CoWorkly is actually really good, because being in Thailand for so long, you do meet a lot of people, but you don't tend to meet people that are here long term or share the same vision of you or came out for the same reason. Mm-hmm. So when you do meet someone like that dresses like that for breakfast, you got to hold on to those people, guys. Yeah. You got to hold on to them.
Yeah, in all fairness, I mean, we all have our types of people, right? And we all get along with different types of people.
Yeah.
Some people are nice acquaintances and there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that different personalities vibe. And I think, like you said earlier, a lot of the digital nomads that you know personally and that you've met are, they're sat behind a computer. They're very techie and they don't really want to do anything else.
True.
Whereas for me, I'm kind of a semi-digital nomad / slow mad. I have been for the last few years doing photography and videography, and I am not really one to be sat behind a computer per se. I'm trying to get CoWorkly off the ground, so I am a little bit more, but I moved out to Asia with no plan, no job, and only a certain amount of money to make it happen. And other than that, the only thing I had was my confidence in my personal skills and abilities, my experience that I've had previously working for other brands and other companies, because I've actually done lots of different jobs and everything kind of adds up to one kind of job role that I've always been able to dip and dive in and out of. So, I think we just hit it off. We vibed straight away. I mean, one of your first messages to me was up, player? I like this guy.
That's how you know it. That's how you know it. That's the status of a good friendship. But Like, so my question for you then, if we're going to get into the podcast, is like, what's your background then? And why did you choose? I've got a few questions then. So why did you choose CoWorkly? Why did you choose to leave the UK? And why did you choose Thailand?
Very good questions. So I guess let me start with the UK side of things. So when I was 22, I went backpacking for 1 year, and I predominantly was based in Southeast Asia, traveling around to Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, the Philippines, all over.
Yeah.
And it was from then on that I knew the UK wasn't home for me.
Yeah.
I knew that at some point, I didn't know when, I would leave the UK. And it was always in my plan ever since I went traveling to find a way to leave the UK full time. When I got back to the UK at 23, I was I think I was 24 when I got a job working as a photographer for an international school portraiture company, which enabled me to travel to places around Europe, the Middle East, all over Asia. And I did that for about 4 years, and it was seasonal. So I didn't work full time. I earned a good salary while sort of being based in Asia and traveling around, spending my fun time, visiting all these countries, having an epic time. And I knew that definitely, I think it was in 2019 when I was in Bali, and I was like, there's too many digital nomads here. This is what I want. I want to become a digital nomad. So I actually started to do an online digital marketing course to start teaching myself, a skill and something I was interested in. It never really materialized. Then we had lockdown in the UK, and I was stuck there that was actually the longest time I'd been in the UK, for a long period of time. And throughout the years prior to that, I'd also been doing, as well as photography on the side, I was also doing freelance corporate event management. So I had a lot of transferable skills there.
Yeah.
And anyway, I come lockdown, out of lockdown, I converted a van into a camper van. So I did the whole van life thing for 2 years. And that's kind of where like the real start of my digital nomadism really took off, because myself and my ex, we were in the van for 2.5 years. We were doing weddings around the UK. So we weren't quite remote because we had to go to specific locations.
Sure.
But inevitably, we started a social media page. We got a significant following. We were doing really good on brand deals.
Wicked.
Drove down to Turkey. Then came back to the UK, sold the van for pretty much what we'd invested in it. So we didn't really make a loss, and had
that's good.
Traveling. And then bought a narrowboat, a 64-foot narrowboat, which I converted.
As you do, guys. This is just absolutely normal stuff.
Yeah. Just your casual weekend fun.
You need to do this.
So I've always had the passion and drive for traveling. So we did the narrowboat. We broke up about 1.5 years ago now, beginning of last year. And after that, I was like, okay, now it's now or never. Like, I've just come out of a long-term relationship. I've seen what it's like to live, a pretty much full nomadic lifestyle.
Yeah.
Had an epic few years traveling, and I was like, well, there's only one place I know I want to be, which is Thailand.
Got you.
And that was it. I was like, right, well, it's now or never. I've sold the boat, got some money behind me.
Sold the boat.
And because I've had various roles that really dip and dive into all kinds of things, I didn't have any kind of hesitation that I wouldn't be able to find something here.
Yeah.
Having said that, I also did have a backup, because I do international school portraiture for a friend of mine who has a company in Singapore. So it's seasonal. I only do 4 schools a year, but it pays very well. It pays out of those 4 weeks of work a year. It's the minimum wage that most people earn in the UK across a whole year. So I am very fortunate.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things about some of the nomadic jobs that you find and that you get. You can find very well-paying jobs.
Yeah, you can.
And I mean, so we talked a bit about me and my experience and my travel lifestyle and how I became a nomad. So let's flip it around. Let's hear your story and let's see where the synergies are.
Yeah, cool. So I mean, with myself, me and my wife, we met at university, and yeah, I know. Yeah, she's lucky. She's punched. She's swinging, mate. Makers only. This thing. But we met at university, and we hit it off like absolutely bang on. And we both knew we had the itch for travel. I would have been traveling a lot as a kid. I moved around a lot as a kid with my mom. We were in hostels, and we moved around a lot, lived with my grandma. So the idea of traveling was not overwhelming, whereas it is for a lot of people. They get a little bit anxious about moving anywhere because they don't know. It's the unknown that scares people. But for me, the unknown really excites me. If I don't know, I want to find out. So I worked then, long story short, to cut quite back because it's very, very long-winded, but my last office job is I was working in London, Canary Wharf. I was a senior data analyst for the Singaporean government and the Chinese military, doing a lot of bulk data analysis for them for a lot of things. But it gave us a chance and it opened the door to Southeast Asia, essentially. And we'd gone around Thailand and Borneo and all these kind of things like we were talking before. And Thailand just sat with us because of the culture. With it being a Buddhist country, it's so... The stark contrast between the UK and Thailand is just so obvious. People want to help you. People actually talk to you. You know, when you go on in Bangkok and you're on the, you know, you might be on like public transport, well, people will talk to you.
Yeah.
In London, that doesn't happen. That's frowned upon, you know, particularly as a Yorkshireman who wants to talk. Yeah, that's frowned upon. So when we found Thailand and it really vied with who we were and what we wanted to achieve, my wife then, before all this, my wife went online because she has endometriosis and it really kept her away from the office a little bit. It's really difficult to work in the office if you've got endometriosis, which if anyone's not sure, please check out what that is. It affects like 1 in 3 women across the world. It's certainly something that needs to be looked at. So she then went online, she started doing her own thing, and she then pulled me in because I wanted to dictate my time more. Like most people, when you're doing a 9 to 5, well, no, it's not a 9 to 5. It's never been I don't even know why they call it a 9 to 5. That's false information. We should be able to sue somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
Who came up with it?
Who came up with the 9 to 5? So yeah, mine was more like 8 to 6, and I just wanted to dictate my time a little bit more. I looked at my manager, and that's where I was heading, and she just didn't look well. You know, the stress, everything. I was like, I don't want this. And then I then went online. I started just doing kind of any jobs that I could find that I knew that I could do. A lot of it was word of mouth. You know, being a data analyst is quite a key skill that a lot of people are doing. Well, then over the course of time, this is so important, and this is one of the things I really want to stress is you need to stop doom scrolling and start micro learning. That is so important. If you can just learn something, even if it's 2 things in depth a year, compound that over 5 years, you are a skilled asset that somebody needs. And that's where it goes. And that's where it went for me. And now I just get involved in just interesting projects like the Unity Cup, which was the international football tournament that just finished in the UK. So I do really interesting projects that I feel I can make a difference in. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm by the pool, probably got a beer in hand. You know, it's a bad life, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's one of the perks about this lifestyle, right? Is I was saying to you that it was only yesterday that I sent a message back in the lads group. I've just moved into Homa in Phuket town.
Yeah.
Very beautiful condo.
Yeah.
If you don't know Homa, which you probably won't if you're watching this from further afield, it is basically a co-working / co-living condo.
Outstanding.
Right now we're in the meeting room of Homa. Yeah. They have a number of them as well as the co-working space. Yeah. So we're making full use and taking.
And they got the largest
rooftop pool,
infinity rooftop pool in Phuket. Yeah. But I think it must be more than Phuket. I haven't seen a pool like that for anywhere.
Huge.
It's massive,
and it's very beautiful as well. Like very nice, very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think. Well, going back to my message to my friend, I sent him the video of me in the pool after work yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, 6 p.m. So you don't get the chance to do that in the UK. And I was like, lads, are you sure you don't want to pack it in? I'm paying £450 for a Studio XL room, which I think is 33 square meters. Not bad value, nice, clean, kitted out with everything. We get a cleaner coming in once a week, which is great.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, so you don't have to... that's why your boxer shorts are everywhere. Just dirty boxer shorts everywhere. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I've got a maid. She comes once a week.
Pretty sure I caught him sniffing.
Around. Did you catch me? Damn. Well, yeah, I was seeing if they fit me actually. Yeah. I need some. That's one thing. Sorry, guys. That's one thing in Thailand. If you ever come here, finding boxer shorts that fit is actually quite difficult.
I find apart from t-shirts, I suppose Uniqlo, but boxers have always been the one for me.
Really?
So before I took the leap to move out to Asia, I honestly bought, I think it was about 16 or 21 pairs of boxers because I know this.
That's the thing. When I went back to England in December, stocked up. I stocked up. I think I did the same. I brought about 20 out, and now we have H&M, don't get me wrong, it's not third world, guys. We do have boxer shorts out here, but the sizes are just tiny, and these are kind of the things that you find when you are fully remote. These are the things that you find, and it's just funny, like these are the little things that you don't think.
Expect.
Exactly. You don't expect these kind of problems. But then you come across these problems and then you're turning them inside out for a week.
Mum, I can't find any boxes that fit me. Can you send me some, please, in the post? Pay the postage as well, don't worry.
Yeah, mate. That's how it happens. That's what it's like. But it is, it's like the perks and the downside of obviously working remotely. I mean, what would you say is the biggest perk of working remotely, but what would you say is the biggest drawback of being able to work remotely?
I think there's a few different ways to answer this. So this goes back to something we were talking about earlier, which is a load of people are working remotely, but they're still technically living the 9 to 5 in a nicer location. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If you're working here in a 9 to 5, like I said, I went up to the pool yesterday before I started work this morning. I went down and played on the pool table when the game through. Fun. Went to the gym this morning. I've been to the gym every morning. So, if you are doing the 9 to 5 and you live in a facility like this, or you live in a condo like where you are, you've got really nice facilities to take advantage of. So it's not as bad. But
it's true.
I think for me, that the more important thing, and the reason I wanted to become a digital nomad, is to free up my time to be able to do more exploring, more travel. That's the reason behind CoWorkly. I want to. It's not going to be realistic that I can work from wherever, whenever. But I think being able to sort of manage and run your own business, you kind of can dictate a little bit more about where you choose to work from, how you run things, and ultimately, I think that for me is what ultimate freedom is kind of really being able to decide a little bit more, having a bit more control and flexibility over your hours.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Some people, someone, a coder, for example, they can probably get away with coding in different hours and taking breaks in between, going to various places because it's done on a task basis. So you have a goal to achieve, and as long as you meet that date or that deadline,
you can do what you want.
You can do what you want.
Yeah, the choice is in your hands.
I think it really depends on some of the skill and some of the jobs that people are doing. But for me, it was more to have the freedom and flexibility to work from wherever, whenever, within reason. And obviously, we're all chasing that goal of being financially free one day, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. I agree with you on that sense. I think the flexibility of it is certainly one that I don't think people really appreciate it until you're in it. Everyone wants the flexibility, but just struggle to take that leap to then do it. But once you do it, you can't go back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like cooking a lasagna, you can't uncook it kind of thing. It's just, it is. But I think the biggest drawback that we found, and one that I would always make sure people are aware of, is if you are working online, working remotely, but you work full-time for a company, you still receive all the benefits like healthcare, dental care. But if you are freelance or self-employed, you don't get those benefits. So then you have to look at alternatives. You've got to make sure that you're covered and making sure that your money is spread properly, because you 1 month you're doing great, and then the next month you don't get as much, you might not get as much work. So understanding how money works and the value of money, and then how to make that grow, is a drawback, but also very important for learning. That's how I learned to really make sure my money went further, because I had no choice. I've got to invest in assets. I've got to invest in different things to make sure that I'm covered no matter what. And then you get to the point where it just becomes second nature. And then that's just what you do anyway. And then you then really start to enjoy the time. When you've been busy for a month, it's great because you get the money. But I always look forward to that following month where I'm not busy and I don't have to work so much. Like now it's just when the phone rings, I'll do some work. But, it takes a while to get to that point. But it really is such an advantage and such a pleasure to know that and know that that's how we work. It's great, man.
I think that's it, really. You can choose. Well, okay, you get contracted work that comes in, and like you said, you have accepted that you might not make as much money, but you've accounted for that. You've come up with ways that work for you to ensure you always have money. But knowing that the following month you haven't really got much work on, so you've pretty much got a free month. And Kiz is remote as well. You can hop in a car, or you can hop on a plane, and you can go and have a mini break somewhere 100%. In Thailand, somewhere else in Asia.
That's it.
And that is ultimate freedom to me. What people get confused about is when they see someone like Elon Musk, working, they don't realize he is working all the time, 24/7, apart from when he's sleeping. But he's probably dreaming about work.
Of course he is. So he's dreaming about sending rockets to Mars, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure that he never ever switches off. But there's the sacrifice for him is he loses his time to go on holiday and do what he wants.
Yeah.
Alex Hormozzi, everyone knows who he is, but he openly says he's not a fan of holidays. He loves working. He's addicted to working.
That's cool.
And that's why they have so much wealth.
Yeah.
Because they will pursue what it takes to ensure they have work, wealth, you name it. They have ambitious goals. And I think you've got to decide for yourself, what side of the scale do you want to be?
Yeah, it's a good point.
You can choose to work absolutely hard. And obviously there's a difference between working hard and smart. You work hard, but you also work smart because you manage your money.
Yeah.
You invest. You're well up to date with all the stock markets and everything.
Yeah.
What I understand.
Yeah.
And you could probably work even harder. You could probably put more effort in to try and get new clients, freelance clients, or other full long-term clients. But right now, you're going through a transition where you're trying to grow this business with your partner, with your wife.
Yeah.
And the sacrifice is that you have to, take a hit financially to be able to get it off the ground. But this is something that you're passionate about. And for you and kids, it means a lot more.
It doesn't make a difference. If you're passionate about something, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's the thing. In anything that you do, if you're really passionate about it, you don't really care what happens because that's all that matters. It's like, this is what we want to do. So we're just going to pursue it. And why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Like, go all that way, do all this, and then not try it.
Yeah.
And to touch on what you say about people working harder, there was a really, really good quote that I saw. It was a few weeks back, but it's really stuck with me. It says, "If working the hardest grants the most success, the donkey would own the farm." I'm like, very clever, because that's true. Like, it's not necessarily about working hard all the time.
Yeah.
It's working hard the smart way and putting it in the things that are going to make the difference. And if you want to pursue remote working, then it starts with trying to make sure that your CV is correct and it reads well for online. Like, have you got the skills for this? Have a look at the job that you want to do. Have a look at the requirements. Then go and micro learn those things. That's where the hard work comes in, but you're doing it the smart way.
Yeah.
And that's really stuck with me because it's kind of how I want to explain that to people when they're trying to get online.
Yeah.
It's like, this is kind of what you need to be doing. So again, with the Digital Yesmads, we do have like a starter pack and the toolkit that now help people get online and have that longevity online. We're not influencers. You'll be able to tell by our Instagram page. I have 224 followers, and I think 5 of those are parents of different people. It's not that, but we did it in the dark. We did all of our success was done in the dark, without the noise, without the influence. We just did it because no one else had. We just decided to say yes. That's why we're the Digital Yesmads, we're the Digital Nomads. That said, yes, there you go. We need to get a drum kit in it.
Yeah. I'll write it down.
Yeah.
Jump.
Yeah, if this does well, man, invest in a drum kit.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's kind of thing. We've got obviously loads of experience that we can impart on people and loads of information over the coming weeks that we're going to put out there that are going to help people. And it will help people, and that's the thing. And that's what I want to do too. I really want people to break from that 9 to 5.
You're not coaches that are trying to coach coaches. Like, you're real people that have lived the lifestyle. You are fully, digital nomads. You live in the nomadic lifestyle. If you wanted to, you could up and leave today, go somewhere else, literally with all your belongings.
100%.
So I think, what gives you guys credibility for everything you're trying to do and achieve right now is that you have lived it, you're living it, and you can talk and share those experiences. You're not just trying to sell courses or information because you've gone on ChatGPT.
Yeah, and done it exactly. Yeah, like everything we've done is being handwritten kind of thing. But
you're giving them a handbook, really.
Basically, yeah, it's just like follow it. It won't let you down, I promise you. By the end of it, and you've got everything, that you will be ready for it, and you'll be so far ahead. And like we were discussing with AI and all this kind of stuff, where do you think it's going anyway?
Yeah.
Like, where do you think you're safe? In 10 years' time, do you honestly think your job's safe?
If I'm honest, I think this now is a crucial point where people need to start reevaluating their career they want to do, because, I'm not picking on graphic designers here.
Yes,
but
you were proper picking on. I was like, you know what?
Cut. Take this out of the video. Take this out. So graphic designers, ChatGPT and some of the AI platforms do an incredible job now.
Yeah, they do.
And if I was a graphic designer right now, I would be learning a different skill, something that AI couldn't do.
Yeah.
And I think, we won't talk about it in this episode, but we've got some good hooks and some good ideas for upcoming episodes that make really good talk for wanting to learn new skills as a nomad. What jobs are safe from AI as a nomad? For me, talking about my personal experience as a photographer and videographer, I have to be there on the ground. It involves creativity, but also emotion, being able to identify when people are smiling, happy, trying to scan the scene. And I just don't think that there's going to be a robot anytime soon that is going to be able to walk around a wedding, walk around an event and capture the content. When it comes to the editing side of things, where they can put stuff together and have time, then I think AI probably will, and it has started to take over the market. In fact, I use AI to organize photos and arrange there's programs now that can actually identify from photos if people are smiling, if they've got their eyes open. It can compare two different photos. And, I think the editing side of things at risk, but for me, that's my least favorite. So I can utilize it to my advantage. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not quite fully remote if I'm to stay and remain as a photographer or videographer, because I do have to travel around to various locations. But when it comes to the editing, the post-editing side of things, I've got the freedom and flexibility to then move to
exactly, to do what you want. And that's the key part, because then, you're doing the hard work, then working smart, but dictating your time.
Yeah.
And that's, again, the thing, like behind the scenes, a lot of people, I think, they don't do anything. And a lot of people don't take it seriously. Like particularly in that market, being online, a lot of people take the piss.
Yeah.
Because they think it's just, I don't have to do anything. Like when people work from home, everyone got fat. Why? Because you took it for granted and you started eating everything. But when you work hard and you do a good job and you constantly update your skill set, you become a very skilled individual and one that people need. Not want, but there is a want for it. But you need people like you, man. And like how you're starting CoWorkly and being on this podcast is great. This is how it all starts. I've never been involved in anything like this before. So then to come into it is great, and seeing what you're doing, it's then inspiring, man. You want to be around people doing this kind of things. And, if you're just in this negative bubble where everything's a complaint and everything's just, you don't break from it.
Yeah.
You don't break from it. But then when you meet people who are very ambitious, very hardworking and actually have a vision to do it, you can't help but kind of join in. Yeah, you feel it, don't you? And you're like, I kind of like that. And then some of the ideas you put on me, I'm like, you know what, I really like this. Like in terms of the brand awareness, wasn't sure how to do it. You've been great at it. So I'm like, I'm going to take a few notes out of his book and just try it.
So one of the things that really appealed to me about you was your ambition and your drive. I could see you were passionate about the nomadic lifestyle and what you wanted to do. Obviously, it resonates with what I'm doing, but more to the point, I don't meet many nomads or people living out here that are entrepreneurs, essentially, because you are deep down an entrepreneur. You're now going through an entrepreneurial journey with your wife, and you have this vision of what you want to achieve with Digital Yesmads.
Yeah.
And, I think, like you said, it's that synergy and being able to share the ideas, talk about things, and we're in the same place. I feed off of other people's energy as well.
I'm the same, man. And it's so important as well, like, to get constructive feedback in this particular world. It's so important that, you're not going to get everything right, unless you're perfect like me. You're not going to get everything right. So it's really important to see what others are doing, see what you're doing wrong, and then to adapt to that. Because it's such an adapting landscape all the time, particularly online. You've got to try and sometimes go with the trends that are maybe making the most money or there, and you have to then go into it. But I think rubbing alongside someone else who was ambitious.
Rubbish?
Well, I mean, look, if you want to do that, like, I put dry humping now. That's technically rubbing. But being with those other people that are ambitious and doing some things, and because you have that time, you can do other things. Like I was saying, tomorrow I'm going to Koh Yao Yai for 4 days because I can.
Yeah.
It's a Thursday, mate. Like, what are you doing on a Thursday? I'm going to go to this, gorgeous little island about an hour away, 5-star resort it up because I can, because I made money from the trading that was on my thing. So I put it to good use. And then it's not just, I didn't put it on bills. I put it on something good.
Yeah. I think what you're doing and the way you're trying to educate people about, picking a new skill perhaps, and just honing in, learning everything there is to know about it so you can become a digital nomad is so important. Yeah. Because one of the biggest questions is, how do I become a digital nomad?
Yes.
And there's so many different answers and ways that you can answer this and achieve this, that it's really down to you as an individual to decide what you want. Because going onto a Facebook group and going, I want to be a digital nomad, tell me how I can become a nomad.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
That's the first. I'm like, okay, what do you mean? Like, what do you want to do?
Define digital nomad.
Yeah, define it. What do you want to do?
Can you define definitive?
Can you spell it? But what is it you want to do? That's why I always ask people. I have so many people like, how do I find clients? I'm like, there's plenty of ways to do it, but what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Like, stop asking, how to do it. Like, what is it you want to do, and follow the passion. Even if you don't really have a passion about, or even if your passion is so far-fetched, just do it anyway.
I think the best bit of advice I can give to anyone that's looking to become a nomad but doesn't know what they want to do, like you said, look at their passion, but maybe they don't need to change their career skill. Their career. Maybe they just need to change their the company they're working for. So if they love travel, see what nomadic jobs are available with a travel company.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you then have to become a coder to start coding an app for a travel company.
Yeah, that's true.
So there are different ways that you can achieve it. But that said, you still need to be mindful of what jobs.
Yeah. Oh, that
AI.
is very true. I think the other thing when you were saying like transferable skills, I think people don't realize just how much transferable skills they have. I think, when you think about your office job, like, what do I do today, day to day? People are like, I don't know. I don't know what I do day to day. Well, they need to think about what systems do you use? Like, are you good at building those systems? Could you do that into another CRM system? Of course you could. You just need to know which CRM system people are using and then figure out how to use it. Like, people aren't stupid. You're not stupid. You just don't know where to start. And that's the biggest problem. You're just trying to take that leap of faith, but you're asking the wrong questions initially. That's the problem. You're asking, how can I get online rather than what do I want to do? Where can I pick up my skills from? How do I get those skills? And then how do I go into the market? They're the questions you should be asking first.
Yeah.
Or find someone that has been doing it and see what they do. Follow them a little bit. See what they get up to. Reach out to them. It's all personal. That's how we met.
It's funny because all my friends and family kind of call me jack of all trades. I don't know if people know the full saying.
Master of none.
Yeah, master of none, but often better than those of one is actually the full saying.
Oh, right.
Because like for me, I was 18 and I was a customer service manager for Argos, one of the biggest shop stores in the UK. And that I actually started doing like psychology training on sales and marketing and how people buy and shop then. So like, the psychology of marketing and how people shop and buy is so interesting, and how you can convince people to buy as well, and using like positive reinforcement, all that. That started off at a young age for me, and at 18 until 20. Then I joined, I went on to a building site with my stepdad for 2.5 years because I didn't like working as a customer service manager.
Fair.
So then I picked up some, some manual handling skills, which is kind of, I guess, how I was able to build the camper van, the motorhome, and so on. So they were transferable later on.
Sure, yeah.
While doing that, or after that, I then went into wedding photography and videography, and I was also working as a freelance corporate events manager because I was working for agencies and for myself. So the event stuff was agencies.
Yeah.
I was doing photography and videography for myself, but I didn't like not working. I always like to be able to use my skill. And I worked for, I've done brands for honestly some of the world's biggest organizations and companies out there. And it also gave me an in-depth look into how they run their marketing campaigns and their strategies.
Exactly.
Teams are built. So then, that's kind of where marketing became an interest. Obviously, doing a visual kind of marketing, such as photography and videography, they all kind of merge into one.
Yeah.
And doing the management side of things at Argos, and then as an event manager, I also have management and leadership skills.
Yeah, you got those personal skills, right? So
and it's like you said, if you start to really identify the separate areas that kind of fit within your experience, it's actually very transferable.
Yes.
So my friends and family laugh at me because I can get pretty much any different job. I came out here. I actually was working for a financial advisor. Then I was working as a communications director for a magazine, and these are jobs I pitched myself. They weren't advertised online.
But you just did it.
Just did it. Second one I pitched, I was like, hey, you sound like you need this person. I'm your man. Got
your little Argos pencil behind you.
Yeah.
Exactly. You hear me?
Oh, man, we switched to pens. I know actually.
They were pencils.
Yeah. I joined when it was pens, and then it went to pencils.
Oh, mate, this guy's living the dream. He's seen it all, guys. He's seen it all.
So yeah, everything as a whole, when you add it up, I was able to basically build it into these different jobs. And what I was always good at was sales, because in corporate events, I was also doing some sales side of things. On the ground sales, trying to sell headphones for Beats at one point, plus some of the other big brands, and trying to promote product and services. So I learned how to sell. And what I ultimately learned was how to sell myself.
Yes.
Knowing my own skills and abilities.
It's so key.
But not everyone is able to do that, because a lot of people are only trained in one skill.
Yeah.
And one thing. So I was always able to go, hey, I know a lot about this. So the job
switching in between, like the experiences when you.
Yeah, exactly. And even now, there's even more things I've done in between, and I've been able to find work again recently.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid regularly for.
Exactly.
So,
which is an interesting story, by the way. Which at some point you're gonna have to divulge that to the audience, because that's it's like you only meet these kind of people 2 or 3 times in your life, right? So you're gonna have to explain it in a different episode how you met this guy and
Definitely.
Because they're the ones that are so interesting. But again, you've got to be in that position to meet those people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the reason I'm in that position is because I was on a digital nomad group on Facebook. Someone said, I need a videographer and a video editor. And I was like, boom, done.
Straight in.
I was like, that's me. And then I met face to face and it was like, oh, you can actually, you know a lot about the real estate market in Thailand. You know a lot about management and so on. Maybe I'll get you to like run and organize events and stuff. It's just, it all materializes into this one thing. But I ultimately, the best thing anyone can do is sit down and pick out maybe 3 core experiences that are all different from each other and 3 core skills that kind of relate, and think about how they're transferable into different, different
environments, like different roles, different stuff. Yeah.
One job that does come up as a safe job from AI is counseling and psychology, because it's an emotional response.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't sit there and talk to AI. You want to talk to a person.
Yeah.
But
true.
So the UK were doing, I think they might still be doing, 3 level 2 qualifications in counselling, and I got my level 2 qualification just to be able to learn more about communicating and just talking with people. That's the first 2 steps to becoming a qualified counsellor, which you can do remotely as well. That's one job.
That's really
it just popped to mind, but it's also really good if you want to, if you want to learn more about communicating with people, your team, individuals. There's so many things that you can do. Like you said, I'm like you, where I'm like, right, I can apply myself, and I wanted to learn digital marketing. I went online, did a digital marketing course, and that taught me so much that I know today.
Yeah.
And the counselling, learning how to communicate and talk with people. You can go on Udemy, you can do management courses on it. I know a guy that became a fully pledged, like really like shit hot web developer because he just went on Udemy doing loads of different courses. And
people don't know that. Like, there's so many free courses out there. And again, that's one of the things that we put in our toolkit. There's so many free courses out there. Mm-hmm. People just don't know. They're thinking, they'll use YouTube. Mm-hmm. You can just watch someone do it. Even if you don't want to read, just watch somebody do it and then just take notes or something. There's a lot of ways to apply yourself, So, but again, it's all down. We can say all this, but you still got to want to do it.
I would say that the majority of the time, the reason it never materializes is because of the individual.
Yeah.
You have got to commit. You've got to decide if you want it. And if you want it, then you'll achieve it and it will happen. And a lot of people say that, it's hard to move out to Asia. It will never happen. You're just going to fail. You're going to be back home before you know it.
Okay.
But I have always been a big believer in my own skills and abilities because of what I've been able to do in the past and what I've been able to apply. And I'm now, I think, month 14 in Asia, and things are looking better.
Right, it's skyrocketing, right?
So,
and even if you did have to go home, you're going to learn so much and so many good things from that trip. Mm-hmm. You're not going to go home the same person. You're going to go home a better version of yourself. And then you're going to really be able to evaluate your life.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to say, this ain't it. Mm-hmm. That's what everyone does. When they go traveling or they go and try something, they come back like, this ain't it.
Well, the backup plan I had, and I've always, I embrace failure.
Yeah.
Or lack of success in some areas. I hate the word failure because I never see any of my attempts as failures.
Yeah.
Which people who've never tried, they'll go, oh yeah, you're just trying to soften your ego. But honestly, I don't mind trying to do something. If it doesn't work out,
don't work.
Okay, next step. How do I achieve what I need to achieve?
Yeah.
What do I need to do? If this hadn't worked out for me this time around, I would have gone back to the UK and gone, right, well, do I CoWorkly is only just founded at the start of February, but if I had to have a new skill, I probably would have gone into something like coding and gone and studied okay, or find another skill that allows me to live the remote lifestyle and just said, okay, well, I'm going to work for someone and live a bit more of a flexible lifestyle.
Yeah, which makes sense. I think
I progress into self-employment again.
Yeah, and then so you're back here at home. Yeah. Well, I think the big thing about you actually as well is the reason why a lot of people should listen to you anyway. It's not because you're right all the time, but it's because you've got more experience of being wrong. Which is just...
That's so true.
Right? It's so true. That is more important than being right. I know what doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you, avoid that. So I've just you're going to save so many people time.
Yeah.
Because don't work, mate. Yeah. Try this. And that's why all the successful people are successful, is because they failed so many times. They just found the one. Eventually, that hits off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's trial and error.
CoWorkly is far from my first ever business venture. It's the most successful so far at this stage.
Yeah.
Some of them I decided to stop because they weren't really for me, or my last business that I tried to start up, which was another mobile app. it never materialized. We kept getting scammed by developers. We lost loads of money. And it got to a point where it was like, okay, this January, I was like, I've got to just either call it and, tell the team it's not happening, or we keep on pursuing this dead project.
Yeah.
It's already been 3 years. And since February up until now, we're 6 months down the line. We've been able to build over 145 clients, or clients list of over 145 people, I should say, businesses. We are live on Android, we're live on iOS.
Yeah.
And all of this was done in a short space of time. We were live on the stores within 3 months. And I think by month 4, we already had nearly like 50 partners. And
amazing.
All of this is from those 3 years of trial and error.
Dead out.
Going back, persistence, going back, forward, back. And it was back, and forward a little bit.
Yeah. And back. Well, you're right. That's exactly it. That's how you touch on it. And that is how you learn. That's how you progress, particularly in life, but in this role, man. And now look at you, living in Homer, got yourself a little girlfriend, don't see him much, he's always tucked up in bed. You know what I mean? He's like, I can't make it today. All this stuff, man. It's great.
Joe was like, I'm going to have to ask Kiz, can I see you?
Can I go and see him? And she was like, go on then. So on motorbike off. And that's the other thing out here, that's getting about. Mobile. I just bought a motorbike actually, because I'm going to try and show people how to do it out here, particularly long. It's so easy. It's really, really easy. But just dashing about everywhere. Like I live, 10 minutes away from you now? I made it in 8. You know what I mean? Yeah. Made it in 8, guys.
8? Is that it?
Yeah. Hey, I could do 2 things twice in 8 minutes, mate. But yeah, so like getting about as well, man. And that kind of aspect, which again, we'll have to talk about, but like, living here and like how we're getting about and how different it is. But then how easy it is to flourish. And again, when you're not making as much money, but when you're living in a country where everything's like a third of the price, you're actually better off, And again, that's what people don't really consider. But I mean, it can be as expensive as you want, by the way, but it can be as cheap as you want to,
This is what I was saying to someone, funnily enough, the other day, is like, if you learn to take less of a salary or earn less money and you're happy with doing so, you can actually have a better quality of life out here.
Yeah.
This accommodation, the room I've got is £450 sterling a month.
Yeah.
That's my water's covered, it's included. Housekeeping once a week, but electricity is 7.49 baht per kilowatt. It works out to be around about £40 a month, I think. I'm gonna guess here. So £40 a month. So let's say 500 all in. For an extra £500, like if I didn't want to leave these amazing facilities here, which to be honest, right now I don't feel like leaving. I can order food. I can go out into Central, to the mall, and for another £500, you've got your food for the month, and that's your basics.
That's everything covered. That's survival.
Yeah,
that's your survival covered, and it's so cheap. And then you don't have council tax, you don't have any of that, man, and none of the bills going up and down. That's how much. Out here, if that's what they say you pay, that's how much you're paying. That's it. There's no hidden charges. Like with us, we pay £800 all in. We have obviously a 2-bedroom because we've got a little man, Indy. He's our sidekick, our son. So we have a bigger place, but again, swimming pool, gym. We've got co-working space there. So it's just it's an environment built for people who are trying to build this lifestyle. Thailand is so suited for you because it's almost like Wi-Fi. Thailand just comes with Wi-Fi. Have you noticed? Everywhere you go, it's like you want Wi-Fi. It's just on like a little, on the pepper pot on the restaurant.
It's so funny because people have this impression that Thailand is a third world right down country. And if you compare photos and the lifestyle in Bangkok versus London,
mate,
London is far behind.
It's not close.
And
Bangkok.
People think it's very dated. Actually, Thailand has some of the world's fastest internet speed.
It does. It does. Trust me, I know, mate. It's just crazy. I couldn't believe how quick. When you're doing the tests, I've never seen digits that high.
Well, on my phone up in Udon Thani, I was hitting, I think it was 330 megabytes download.
And this isn't Udon Thani.
Udon, not even Bangkok.
There's not even Bangkok. This is the northeast of nowhere, guys. Well, Bangkok, you're right. Bangkok is crazy. I've lived in London for 5 years, and I've lived in Bangkok for a couple of years as well. And people love London. Like Kiran, she still thinks London's her favourite city. She thinks that, but she doesn't know any better, guys. But Bangkok is by far the best city I've ever been to in my life. It's unbelievable. It's so far from being third world. I can't tell you. If you think it's third world, there's something wrong with you. But when the transport system, the infrastructure, the restaurants, the way that everyone is, how you get about, the size of Bangkok is twice the size of London, realistically. And I'm not talking like the outer parts of Bangkok, like central Bangkok, where you can walk down the street for 100 meters and see maybe 30 places that you want to go into. It's completely different. And Bangkok is just so fit for digital nomads. Like the amount of co-working spaces there that obviously you know about is it's cheap.
Well, Thailand's got really good incentives for startups.
Yeah.
So they've got their BIY program, which is Board of Investment Program, and it's basically if you start up a business and you're accepted as a BOI approved company, you can then get 100% foreign ownership on your company, so you don't need a nominee structure. The taxes are far lower than the UK corporation tax, and you get a work permit as well. For all foreign employees, and you don't need Thai nationals to work for.
Which is huge actually. That's it's big, because a lot of time you do need Thai nationals to work for. So even still, it's not at the end of the world, is it? I mean,
they're really trying to push the startup kind of ecosystem out here in Asia, and so far they're smashing it.
They're doing really well, man. Like I think it's because they've listened to over the course of the years that they've seen like the people that come in and they see what they're doing, and they have basically accumulated it for that. Even like with the new visas now, the DTV like visa, and that's for digital nomads to come in for 5 years, and you can come and go as you please. Like that's amazing. That is really good. You don't really get that a lot in Asia. You know, Asia's still one of those things there. You have to buy, you know, you've got to get like a visa, or you've got to buy this just to be there for 30 days. But Thailand done it really smart, and you can do it online. So it's just, everything's just streamlined for Thailand. So when people are leaving, or you speak to people who've been to Thailand and all that, there's no wonder why people talk about Thailand so highly. Why Thailand is like number 1, number 2, number 3 in the best place in the world for them. It's because it's suited for people like us and just for a good life. That's all they're bothered about. It's a Buddhist country, so they just want to make you happy, regardless of what you do, and it's really attained that, I think.
And I think
really well.
Going on to like the Bangkok side of things and the Buddhist side of things, even though it's a big city, it still has a relaxed vibe to it. It's still it's not like London. It's not like a city crazy or New York. I've never been to New York, but you know, it's not a rat race.
No, it's not.
And like I was saying earlier, people still talk to you on the trains up in Bangkok. You were like, in London, it's a no-no.
It doesn't happen. Yeah, I'm scared of getting shanked, you know. I mean, on Circle Line, you know, that's not how I want my life to end. But over here, it's just so much.
On the Circle.
Just that. I don't want that my obituary, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 2 stops away from Seven Sisters, you know. But so like, I agree. Like Bangkok's amazing, and again, later down we can talk about
so much to talk about.
Because this is the thing. This is the great idea of this podcast, and thanks for having me on. And hopefully, over the course of time, we can really pump some good information out there for people, things that people don't think about, aren't aware of, didn't know existed. You know, all that kind of stuff. Because I think it'd be really good on the podcast at some stage. I know you've probably done it with Homer, but to show places where you live, you know, so that they can have a really good understanding. Like, this is what it is. So like throwing numbers out there, innit? But like actually showing what it's like to live here and to just to get food and stuff like that, you know.
I think just to give a bit of a teaser for some of the ideas that we've had, you know, one of the episodes is talking about those jobs, as I mentioned earlier, that are protected from AI, that allow you to live and work remotely. We've also got some others in the pipeline, such as you wanted to talk about how people can move or relocate to another country and be paid to do so. People don't realize that there are countries now paying for that. I think I'm only going to guess here. I think it was Mallorca that I read recently that are paying for families to move there.
Yes, true.
It is strict criteria. There is criteria you
might hit it.
But you might hit it.
Who knows? Like, there's a place in Italy. There's Belize, for Christ's sake. Belize.
I know Mexico was doing one at one
Mexico.
point. It still is.
Crazy places, man.
If you do your research, like you said, you can find all those. And that's, you know, Nomad Newsroom kind of encompasses all of that. And we want to deliver these fun, interesting facts that might enable you to be able to relocate, even if you haven't got the financial means, because maybe you can be paid to move and relocate.
Imagine
that.
Getting paid to move to Italy in your Air Max 95. Just rocking up, mate. Come on.
Reebok workout.
Mate. So, no, I mean, mint.
And
a lot of people they just don't know about it. And that's the point. And hopefully that's the point of the podcast. Just get information out there. You know, hopefully it comes across well for people too. Because we are just 2 lads from England. From Doncaster, for Christ's sake, mate. You know what I mean? The only thing that makes it out there is a cold virus. You know what I mean? It's the only thing that makes it out. So it can be done. You know, it really, really can be done, regardless of your situation, regardless of your circumstances. It can be done. Like, I'm proof of it. You're proof of it. You've started a business. You're doing great. Live in this amazing place. You know, it can be done. I've got a family too. So
I think it's just if you really want something and you're ambitious about it, you'll get it. You just have to try. But I think you also have to be prepared to fail.
Yeah.
And then think about what you can do after. Don't be, don't get down. Don't, feel upset. Don't feel like you've underachieved or you haven't achieved what you wanted to achieve. You're taking a risk in the first place. Accept that you might fail, and then just live with that mindset that you might fail, and what are you going to do after that if it fails?
Exactly. But they are the most interesting people. The ones that take bold decisions, take risks. They're the most interesting people, man. When you meet someone, you just know.
Yeah.
Like real recognizes real.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. He's got something about him. He's failed a lot.
He lives like a walking failure.
Look at his hairline, like. You know what I mean? Just random things, but and they're the most interesting people. And the idea is to then become that person.
Yeah.
Where people are like, God, you're interesting. Like, you know what? Maybe I am, but it's just because of this. This is all I did. This is all I did. I've just got loads of stuff to tell you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd rather be buried with memories than money.
Yeah.
So that's the deal with it.
You can't take any of this with you.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I don't mind renting out here.
Rent is not a dead thing here. Rent is the thing, man.
I think I worked out, if you wanted to buy a condo like one that we're staying in now, for some of the nicer places that are about, you're looking at about 10 to 12 or 13 years worth of rent equivalent to pay for that.
Yeah.
Hopefully I said that in the right way.
Yeah.
I think I did. Yeah, it was.
They'll get you. They'll get you.
They can rewind it.
Yeah. We're going to go through a couple of dummies here.
So yeah, I mean, I don't mind, knowing that, okay, if I was to rent for the next few years, that it's money going into someone else's pocket, because for me, I still have the freedom and flexibility to do what I want when I want.
Exactly.
Well, after this year's contract's up, I can go, right, okay, well, maybe this place or this area that I'm in isn't for me. I'm going to move somewhere else. Yeah. Now, if you buy somewhere and you buy a home in the UK, don't get me wrong, it's an asset. You might be able to rent it out to immigrants or something,
Yeah.
But because everyone seems to be leaving.
Just empty places, mate. Go on in, boys.
So I don't mind. I don't mind renting and having the freedom to do what I want. And again, I wouldn't be able to buy somewhere like this anytime soon.
Exactly, and that's the point. Exactly. It's not dead money.
Yeah.
It's actually an investment for your freedom, man. That's what it is, and it goes so well out here. Just again, in England, you can't really do that. Everything costs a fortune anyway. We all know that. Bills been going up a million. Ask anyone outside of here that's in the UK. The first thing is complaining about prices.
Yeah.
I don't complain about prices here. I never complain about prices here. The only time I'm like, bloody hell, that's £3.45. Right? I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure about that. That's
not adding enough on OnlyFans, are you?
No, mate. My feet pics are not doing well. They are not doing well, so I need to step it up, man.
Oh, nice. All right, look, I think we wrap this one up. I can't believe it. I mean, time's flown up. We must be at nearly an hour.
Yeah, it's 2:20, man. Done well there,
Yeah, done it all right. So we're going to obviously be doing this weekly and releasing these weekly.
Yeah.
So it'd mean a lot to us if you could subscribe, give us a follow. We'll tag all the relevant pages and the deck that you're selling. Selling.
Yeah, I'll put them on the
Everything
website.
will be in the comments, just to simplify it, or in the description, I should say. Other than that, mate, thank you.
Yeah, well, we'll do this again, shall we?
Yeah.
We have to do it on a gummy next time. That'll be
All right.
See you later, team. See you later, mate. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in, you legends. Now hit that damn subscribe button already.